Welcome to Bites of Light with Angel and Seth Rohr.
We provide bite-sized nuggets of wisdom to feed your soul, expand your awareness, and free your mind to help you create a more beautiful today and a brighter tomorrow.
Join us in our magical kitchen as we serve up another high vibe snack for your soul. Welcome to another episode of Bites of Light, Snacks for Your Soul. And today we have a very exciting guest with us, Bethany Lopez, from our pet rescue that we decided to sponsor and work with our book, Bites of Light, Evolved Leadership for a Spiritual Entrepreneur. Welcome, Bethany.
Welcome.
I'm so happy to be here along with my cat who is joined
his little paw sticking up there.
Loves to have a presence. Yeah.
I love it. You know, this book that we're birthing into the world does have an element of animal medicine in it. So when looking to find some foundation to work with, you know, it was a no-brainer to come in and play with you guys. Why don't you give us a little insight and information into what you do and who you work for?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're so honored and excited to partner with you on this. I mean, the reason that I'm involved in animal rescue is just because animals are such vectors of bringing more light into the world, right? They're such pure souls, and they're the ones that we need to look to, I think, often to be our best selves. So what Nuzzles does is we fill kind of a specific need. The full name of the organization is Nuzzles & Co. Pet Rescue and Adoption, because, you know, we wanted something that really nodded to that tangible feeling of being loved by an animal. And the moment, you know, everyone who has ever known or loved an animal knows what it's like to get that little nuzzle of acceptance and appreciation and gratitude from them and seeing you for who you are. So that's the basis of the name. And then it ties to being in community, caring for these animals as an entire, you know, collective of people who care about them the way that we do. And what we do is fill a gap. There are so many city shelters and county shelters and various nonprofit rescues around the state, around the country, and every single one of them is doing crucial work. I feel like we couldn't succeed unless there were all these people pulling their component of it. And so I always feel that we're allies working together. And the part that Nuzzles is able to pick up and take care of is the really extra vulnerable animals. It's the ones who other shelters, they don't have an in-house veterinary suite. They don't have an in-house full-time dog trainer and cat socialization program manager and miles of hiking trails and, you know, like all of the infrastructure that you need to take in. Like if there is a litter of puppies who were born on the Navajo reservation and they all have a terrible respiratory virus that could kill any one of them, we have a quarantine facility. You know, we have the transportation van fleet with the built-in animal, you know, safe transport cages. And we have an in-house veterinary team who are going to treat them and care for them and socialize them and get them into a foster home or like wherever is going to be most comfortable for them and get them to the point of being adopted. And so it's something that the other shelters rely on us for, and the entire community of animal lovers really rely on, just taking the old ones, the sick ones, the babies, ones with lifelong medical needs, or just a need that requires some time to heal up. And we find that city and county shelters are often so underfunded that they're just putting out fires as fast as they can, and they often just could not slow down and give those animals that time. So that's a long-winded way of saying that we feel that need of compassion for the most vulnerable.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And that is partly why, you know, we chose to work with you guys because of your mission and your heart and being in service.
Yeah, it's a labor of love. It's a labor, but it's a labor of love.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. So what called you to this? How did you end up involved in this
The most perfect story for me anyway. There's other perfect stories, but I was burned out working in an advertising career as a creative, as a copywriter, on track to become a creative director. And advertising it's a cool industry. It's a very creative industry. It's very stimulating and inspiring, but it also grinds people down. And you spend so much of that creative birthing energy making things for companies that, you care because they're a client, but they don't necessarily have a mission that like fills your heart, or gives you a soul purpose. And so I would write copy, ad campaigns, videos, websites, do branding for just various corporate clients. And that was good. It was a good living, but my soul really had a hole that wasn't being filled. And animals are my biggest passion in the world. I always say they're my favorite people. And one day, this local animal rescue came to us and said, is there any chance you'd be willing to do some pro bono work? We're on the verge of bankruptcy. We have nothing left. We're literally about to shutter our doors. It was the winter. There's snowplow to access the road where our rescue ranch is had broken down. It was like that was the last straw. And so this motley crew of animal lovers from around this huge ad agency just pulled together and said, well, we'll do some work for you. Like that would bring us a lot of joy. So it ended up being this insane undertaking because the deeper we dug, the more we realized that animals, especially shelter animals, need someone to tell their story. Someone has to give them voice. And who better than people who specialize in communications professionally? So we realized that if we did a really great job helping this rescue, the impact we could make was so far ranging, how many animals we could save over the ensuing years, would just, amplify all of the payoff of the effort. So we all jumped in and we did it. And I was part of that team. And I was just so hooked on it, on using my creative powers for good, as I'm sure something that you guys are familiar with. Like it feels fantastic. so, so I've stayed involved all of these years and they can't get rid of me.
Can't shake it.
Yeah, and chances are they don't want to either.
I don't think so. I think it's a mutual thing. It's good. Yeah.
Yeah. The relationship is symbiotic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's something that most people are out there looking for, that the corporate world that has existed for so long seems to be slowly chipping away and breaking down, because it is that same thing. People get in there and it's a good living, but is that what we're here to do, is go to work and pay the bills and go home and repeat it until we die? Like
that's
no, that's
so
not.
many of us do. Yeah.
But more and more people are breaking out of that and finding the things that they're passionate about, like you and this animal rescue. And it's that's one of the messages that we share with our listeners and with anybody we work with, is seeking that passion, that purpose, and giving your life meaning. Like live your life. Don't just go through the motions. If you're not enjoy in your life and feeling that fulfillment, well, then it's time to make changes. Sometimes those changes feel uncomfortable, but the outcome is something more beautiful, something you can believe in, something you can get behind, and then work doesn't feel so much like work anymore.
No, absolutely. And it's still work, but when it's work with purpose, then the work is completely tolerable. And it's funny because I definitely see that happening in the corporate world as more people are becoming cognizant and conscious and trying to peel away into something a little bit deeper within themselves. I always ask friends, it doesn't have to be animal rescue, although I think everyone should get involved. But what is it that when you do it, you feel such a joy and such a heart purpose that you could just do that forever? And, that's what brought me into rescue. And sometimes I do have to go back and reconnect with the animals because I work remotely. I'm half an hour away from the facility itself, and I'll get deep into, creative art files and spreadsheets of donors and building a ticketing site for our next fundraiser party. And I'm using all of my skills, but sometimes I'm like, I just have to go up and like, you know,
Nuzzle the babies.
pet the babies and like hold some neonatal kittens and go take the senior dog for a walk and reconnect. And when you walk around and hear the individual animal stories, because the staff knows, they can just say, you know, this is Peach, the 8-year-old pit bull. She has been in the shelter this many days. This is the kind of family she needs. This is what she loves to do. This is her favorite squeaky toy. Like, they just know. And you just tap right into that passion and it just picks you up. And I go home so fired up and I tell those animal stories. And then, you know, the time just melts away, right? Because you're doing what you were meant to do.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. I mean, we're here to support all of life,
Yeah.
not just the humans and the plants, but the animals and everything, right? It's all one big connected life force that we're all a part of. So it's beautiful that you're doing that
Yeah. Yeah.
and bringing awareness to it. And it's awesome. We're very, very happy to have found you to partner with and to help contribute, you know, donate part of the proceeds from all of our book sales to help fund your shelter and keep things going and keeping the animals having a place to be.
It was, I mean, it's people like you and for everyone who, you know, purchases the book or attends a workshop, like everyone becomes a part of it, you know, and it's such a beautiful extension of that oneness and of the love and, you know, source that we all come from and that we all share to go bond with these animals and find purpose in not just saving them, but being saved by them.
Yeah. And so the cat that has showed his paw several times, was he from there too, or what's his story?
He was from a partner rescue. We didn't intend to get another cat. We already had 2, and we had a dog. And it was an instance where the animal chooses you and you say, okay, away we go.
Yeah.
My best friend fosters neonatal kittens, and she lives just 5 houses away. And I already adopted one once. It's my little special samurai baby, Lucy. And we had a senior dog years later, and the cats didn't really like him. The 2 cats that we had, it's not that they were mean to him, but they just kind of left him alone. And one day we went over to my friend's house and she had these infant kittens, a litter of little 5 orange babies, and they love dogs. So we just brought our dog over. We were like, this is what it's like when cats like you.
Aw.
And this one kitten just crawled right up onto our dog, purred, kneaded on him, and went to sleep. And we thought, maybe our dog wants a cat.
Yeah.
So sometimes you're building a family for your family.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is why neither of us are allowed to work with animal shelters and rescues.
Hands on, because our house would be full.
Dangerous business. Yeah, but you know, you just find more nooks and crannies in your house to pet toys, and it's fine. Yeah,
It's fine. It's fine.
we're saving up for a bigger house just so we can get some more.
Right.
So
Yeah.
how many pets do you guys have?
We only have 2 right now.
Currently, yeah.
Yeah, we have an older 15-year-old Lhasa Apso Shih Tzu mix who's laying on the floor down here as we're talking, and a 9-year-old tabby mix that I think must be mixed with Mancoon because he's about 20 pounds, and it's a few of those pounds are probably weight he could shed, but he's also just a big, strong cat. Like he still
Yeah.
jumps 6-foot fences at 20 pounds. Like he's not immobile.
Oh, he's a linebacker. Yeah.
That's right.
He's
He's
just big.
beefy.
And I'm surprised he's not up here harassing us. He's the one that insists on jumping in our lap and thinking that he's a 7-pound cat.
I
And
love
it's
it.
overflowing your lap, and you're like, this isn't working very well. But
I like to say that our Jack has an ample body type. So
There you
Yeah.
go.
yeah, he's extra healthy.
Extra.
Yeah. Call him husky, but yes.
So where can people go to contact you to donate? Like how do people find you?
Yeah, great question. So there's a couple great resources. And the one is more utilitarian. It's our website, nuzzlesandco.org, nuzzles with an N. And there you can read our history, our mission, have a look at pets that we have currently, have a look at the donate page. I always tell people there are so many ways to further the cause of animal rescue besides donating. Like, yes, please, everyone donate what you can. The work Nuzzles does is the most expensive, right? Like, we don't turn an animal away because they need a $7,000 surgery to rebuild a broken pelvis from getting hit by a car. Like, we don't turn those animals away, and they could need lifelong medication, and we ensure they've got it. That's our promise to them. So we always need financial support to make that happen. But, donating time, donating supplies, donating space in someone's house. If you've got a spare room, you could take, some kittens or puppies, or, if you've got a lap or a couch, you can take a senior dog. I think senior animals are some of the easiest to foster. They just want a lap. That's it. A lap and some food. That's all they need. You don't hardly have to walk them. It's so easy. And so those are some of the best ways to get involved. The nation's experiencing a shortage in fosters right now. Actually, it's kind of, I know we're talking about all the joy and the light in compassionately helping animals, but the tragic side is that there are lots being euthanized in shelters still, and the numbers are reducing. It's good, rescues are doing the work, but a lot of people are experiencing economic hardship right now, and they are giving up pets or having a hard time caring for them, and the shelters are full. And so the way that most shelters are able to absorb that, overage is through fosters. So truly, I tell people, if you love animals, you're not going to feel pressured to keep them. Reach out to your local organization, Nuzzles, if you're anywhere near us in Utah, but wherever you are, you can take an animal or two into your home and really have fun with it. It's like a 2 or 4 week long sleepover. It's no commitment to buy. So that's a great way to help right now. And also, I think if people want some really happy love stories and cute little faces in their everyday lives, just follow our social media. We have a robust Instagram feed and Facebook feed, Nuzzles and Co. And we keep everything really positive. We find that if you focus on the shadow side and the pain side and all of the sad stories, they're important, but that's hard on people and it wears them down. All of us are deeply empathetic, compassionate people. And eventually you get so worn down by the sadness of it that a lot of us shut down. So Nuzzles focuses on the light and the happy stories and the going home photos with animals who found their families after X number of days or months waiting. So that's really fun. I always look forward to our posts. I'm like, who do we got now?
Yeah. That's great. Well, we really appreciate, the mission that you've accepted and the commitment that you bring to our fur children and all of the animals on this planet. And I cannot wait to spend more time with you and learn more about the organization and see some babies ourselves.
Oh, we can't wait to have you. Yeah, we'll have to work something out on those lines. And too, we at Nuzzles just wanted to thank you for making us a part of your mission. I know that the work you're doing with this book and with your other publications is really spreading consciousness and compassion, both for self and for others, and for the planet, for the environment, for animals, through a more conscious way of working in this world. And whether or not we're directly talking about how to save animals specifically, I feel like the more people are able to tap into that better and higher self, the more compassionate they're going to be toward the most vulnerable. So it all works together.
Absolutely. As you learn to love yourself more and more, you let love in and you connect to love.
Yeah.
And that love knows no bounds. That's so, as you grow that love, and then you just become connected to it, and love is the life force that runs through everything.
Yep. And sometimes we just tap into it, and these littles with their paws sticking up in our Zoom calls.
Yeah. Look at his cute little face.
His little face.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure glad that you could join us, and we will, for our listeners, we are going to put all of the links on how you can reach Nuzzles & Co. We didn't clarify that they are in the Salt Lake City area.
Mhm.
And yeah, we will put all of their information, and we look forward to seeing you at our event in May.
No, we can't wait. Yeah,
It'll be
thank you.
great.
Thank you for making us a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Our pleasure.
Yes, thank you for joining us today.
Of course, it's good to see you both. And yeah, thanks for welcoming Jack into the call.
Bye, Jack.
All right. Until next time.
All our love.
Bye.
Thank you for sharing your time and energy with us. The best way to help us spread this message is to rate, review, and subscribe.
If this episode impacted you in any way, share it with others. Post about it on social media or put something in the comments.
Also, check out our website for upcoming events and books at www.roarrevolution.com. All our gratitude and love.
All our love.
See you soon.